Hey guys, hopefully somebody finds this. I don't know what happens every time I turn the phone. It decides it wanted to turn on the live, even though it's scheduled for 15 minutes out. So I'm going to turn the camera around and put up the scenery as we're approaching Gallup, New Mexico, and I'll watch for people to pop in. Probably ought to turn the radio down. Hey, we got people here. Let me turn this back around. Cool. Okay, good morning, y'all. I made a little screw up doing this live thing here. Still got some learning to do. Something about when I turn the phone, it registers as I push the let's go live. So we jumped on 10 minutes early. I'm trying to get the other half's phone up and running so she can run point on the messages. Okay, there we go, got her, and we got a commercial. Of course we get a commercial. I'll skip the ad. There we go. Hey, what's up, Bendon? Steve Kelly, Dale Poe, and Jeff H. So, yeah, that was my screw up on the setting the live. Howdy, Paul. I'm going to hand the phone back off to the other half so she can keep track of your comments. For those of y'all who try to get the hang right, have never been to New Mexico, this is what New Mexico looks like. We're just approaching Gallup, New Mexico, and it's a whole lot of beautiful countryside out here. And once we get to Albuquerque, we'll take a left in Albuquerque instead of the right like Bugs Bunny, and we'll go almost all the way to Colorado. So, definitely a lot of wide open country out here.
Charles Neal says, are you doing a live while you're driving here? You're kidding me.
Of course, Charles. This is the second time I'm doing a live while driving. I figured out how to do this yesterday. So as we're getting into Gallup proper, I gotta get off the cruise control and let my speed down. Don't want the New Mexico State Police to stop to say hi today. I got a lot of friends on the New Mexico State Police, but I don't know that would help too much. So again, I apologize for screwing up the schedule on the going live. I did try to give it like 15 minutes. I set it up at the road stop right after we crossed into New Mexico. But then when I verified that all the settings were right and I put the camera in the mount, it decided that it was going to go live. And it's actually a good thing I checked the settings, because I never changed the time zone on my computer. So when I'm traveling and I schedule to put a video up, I keep it set to Pacific Standard Time or Daylight Time. I set this one for Pacific Time, not thinking that my phone had already automatically updated to Mountain Time. And I'm like, why is it not telling me that we're waiting to go live?
Orange Smoke M7's on.
What's that?
Orange Smoke M7's on.
Morning, Orange Smoke.
And Charles Neal, Paul Freever, Jeff H. Mark Thomas.
Mark who?
Thomas.
Oh, hey Mark Thomas, how you doing? How's the holster making going? little bit rough here through Gallup proper.
Sunny KW.
What's up there, Sonny KW? We'll give you some more of what the highway's actually skirting around the edge of Gallup. Gallup proper is to our right.
Mark says good for the gun street.
Cool. I have to show my wife some of your Holston making videos. Here, even though the speed limit, posted speed limit 75 throughout all of New Mexico, through Gallup proper, all the way from through
Retail tactics.
like exit 26, they've got it dropped to 65 miles an hour. So they do.
Ponytail tactics.
What's up there, morning ponytail? How you doing, sir? So yep, there is definitely a lot of nice countryside here. Let me try to get the angle a little bit better. Let you look at my face a little bit, not just my gut. So yeah, we've got we made it to Holbrook, Arizona last night. Had a long talk with Bending Ballistics while I was burning up the highway. Got a good night's sleep. Been a long time since I stayed at a hotel with outside entry doors. Even though we got in late, we lucked out and got a first floor room, so I didn't have to hump all the guns and gear up and down stairs.
I'm not going to voice this one. Look at Steve Kelly's.
Okay, wife wants me to. Just FYI, you get 1,000 points if you hit. Well, I might have already racked up those points. But those points probably expired on my point card. Funny story. We're just about Christmas, and I get in a failure to yield. So I got working with a trainee, and it's a twisty, curvy mountain road. And we get to the top of the grade, and the guy decides, yeah, now that we're out of twisties and this Chili Verde has stayed stuck to my bumper, I'm going to pull over here and I'm going to run away. So I pulled off in the field and he took off running, and I wasn't in the mood to run. So the left front fender of my sedan, I just pulled up really close to him, cut the wheel hard left real fast and knocked him to the ground with the fender. Came to a stop, jumped out, pounced on him, cuffed him up, and he got to spend Christmas morning at Metropolitan Correctional Center in downtown San Diego. Improvise, adapt, and overcome, as they say. I wasn't in the mood to run, and I really didn't feel like shooting. So I tapped him with my fender.
Orange Smoke M7 says his wife's pulling his leash, so he's got to go.
Okay, well, you let your wife pull your sleeve there, Orange. We'll catch you later. I should have a 6.5 PRC video out tomorrow. So I'm just trying to kill time while I'm driving. You have a good day, Orange, and we'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Hopefully I'll be able to see y'all at Hootie's tonight. Phone kind of shifted around a little bit on me in the bumps. So is the audio and video any better than it was yesterday? I did look at the video last night before I racked out. Sometimes it was really clear, sometimes it was a little pixelated. Once we changed cell towers crossing into Arizona, the video quality really did drop off a lot. I was surprised by that. So I guess we called it at a good spot. So what else is happening out there other than it's a whole lot cooler today. Last time I looked at my Torque Pro gauges on my phone, my intake air temperature was only registering like 87 degrees. So it's a nice cool morning out as opposed to the 112 when we stopped for dinner in Surprise, Arizona last night. It was very toasty. And those of y'all that watched yesterday, when I put my hands on the glass, that glass was smoking hot. The changing climate got the sinuses running, I think. The coolant temperature was holding pretty steady at about 210 to 215, depending on grade. My oil temp was holding real steady at 215, which is a whole lot warmer than I'm accustomed to. Like right now, like I said, last I saw, my coolant temperature was 197 and the oil temperature was 205, so not too bad for climbing up and down little grades here at 5,000 or 6,000 feet altitude, whatever we're at. We will be approaching the Continental Divide here in just a few minutes, so we'll be climbing from 5,600 feet, I think is what we're at, and we'll climb to 7,280 or so.
T-Bone's on.
Morning, T-Bone.
Nick 2506.
Oh, morning, Nick. How's life in England today? Or should I just say the UK? Yeah, Nick is he's from the UK.
Very
So
cool.
one of my viewers from across the pond. When he watches me, it's very, very middle of the night for him, like 3:30 in the morning.
Let him know my dad was born in England, outside of Norwich.
Yes, your dad was born in England, outside of Norwich, and everybody knows that now. And now they'll be able to track you down. Here you go for you, Nick. We're not going to see Tucumcari because, well, that's completely on the other side of the state. We are just east of Gallup now, 28 miles into New Mexico.
Is that a new casino?
Shiprock is off to our left. I don't know that I can make that twist. Yeah, it won't go quite far enough over, but Shiprock is off to our left. And we're just going to have these grades, valleys, and mesas for, well, until we get a little bit east of Grants. And then we'll hit a couple of good grades and drop right down into Albuquerque. And for those that were Breaking Bad fans, if we're still running live as we get to Albuquerque, you'll see some very familiar scenery, like Tohajahive Road, where he buried the money, and Hank. If I had extra time, we could go show you Walter White's house. I've been there before, but since we'll have to get to the RV rental place to get the trailer picked up, because the owner of 505 RV Rentals is doing me a solid. He did me a solid a couple of years ago when we rented from him, and he's doing me a solid again now, because they don't typically have Sunday pickup or drop off. But for me, he's coming in on Sunday to allow me to pick up, and he'll allow me to drop off next Sunday. So it's a good relationship. If you're ever in the Albuquerque area, you need to rent a travel trailer. 505 RV rentals, solid people. They took care of us last time, they're taking care of us this time, and they're good people. And that is not any sort of paid endorsement or anything. That is an honest to God review based off my second use of, or second business relationship with them.
Hunter Martin's on, and then Paul Freeberg is off to the barbecue to check on the turkey on the smoker.
Alrighty. Morning, Hunter. Check on your turkey, Paul. Are you smoking or grilling? That's the question.
Nick says there's some great deer hunting in huge red stags in the is that front forest?
Is that Nick?
Nick 2506.
Yep.
And Paul's definitely smoking.
Good job, Paul and Nick. If I'm not mistaken, the red stags are actually somehow related to the North American elk, I think.
You're saying they're like Shire horses.
And I just had this idea. Now that I've figured out how to go live while driving, never mind that I don't have a Tesla. I just have a solid, very solid front end on my truck. It's amazing how you can align a front end with a piece of string and a ruler. But I was thinking, oh shoot, I could go live if we do the 555 drive, go looking for deer and antelope playing and elk. Except once we get about 2 miles up the grade, we lose all cell service. So that wouldn't work.
Steve Kelly is off to do the honeydew list, and then there's a JEPK2. Good morning.
Alrighty, Steve. Well, you have fun with your honeydew list. I should see y'all tonight. Morning, Jerk. How you doing? We are driving safe. And morning, Jeff B. And Mr. P as well. Good job, folks. I appreciate y'all hanging with me today on this beautiful Sunday morning.
It's gorgeous out.
And for the people who are just popping in, I'll turn the camera back around and show you some more of a wide open space of western New Mexico.
They definitely had some rain recently.
And then definitely had a lot of rain in the area, I think, because our brush is all green, and all the washes
Have water.
some have water and some just have signs of recent water flow. So, very good. The scary part about that is I was looking at the weather forecast for where we're going to be shooting, and Monday through Friday they're calling for rainstorms every afternoon. So we might have good weather for the matches, but any Halfmilesniper videos may be filmed in poor weather.
Nick says, yes, they are related. They are, it looks like cousins, interbred, as Sitka, all the same genus.
Interesting. I was guessing that based off of photographs of the red stag antlers and comparing them to elk antlers, that they appeared to be related to me.
Extreme Armor's on.
Morning, Extreme. How are you doing this morning,
He's
sir?
asking if you're heading into Texas.
Not getting to Texas this time. We will actually get very close to Texas, though. We will be probably 20 miles from the Three Corners. And that's where Texas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma meet. There's actually a monument there. I saw a YouTube video on it. I thought about going out to try to find it. I just don't know that I'll have enough free time after the matches to be able to do that. But yeah, we're going to be like 20 miles from Three Corners. there's a volcano. Capelin Mountain is actually a deceased volcano, and went up there with the kids several years ago. They were quite a bit younger. They were in their teens, and from the top of the deceased volcano, you can see well into Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, and a whole lot of New Mexico. Okay, nobody coming up behind me. So, yep, it's definitely a lot of driving to get up here. It's like 1,100 miles from my house to where we're going in New Mexico. So,
what is that factor there?
that is a oil refinery here. I think they refine oil from. I don't think it's shale, but there's a.
That's very
Whoa!
undemocratic, though.
Okay, I touched my phone. Sorry about that. Touched my phone and knocked it off the mount. Wow. Thought I'd try to show you the refinery and ended up flipping the phone 180 degrees and went flying through the air and landed in my lap.
Are you going to visit Area 51?
Area 51's back in Nevada. White Sands is here in New Mexico, and I've been through there. We drove through White Sands. We were on our way to journeyman school at the Satellite Academy in Artesia, and we got to be some of the first people to see the F-117 flying in the daytime. It was one of their early daytime flights after they announced that, yeah, we have a new fighter jet. It was pretty neat seeing the F-117 come zooming by as we were coming down the grade into the White Sands missile base.
Well, isn't there a place down by where Gina's at that's kind of a...
Oh, that's Roswell.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he was thinking. Isn't that kind of a UFO?
That is definitely a UFO place. And everything is UFO centered in Roswell, except for the New Mexico Military Institute. Here, I'll move over, Mr. Semi, and let you come in. Thankfully, we've got a new third row here, third lane. And I believe with this new third lane, I'm going to turn you all back around. I believe we are in fact coming up towards the Continental Divide. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit farther up.
It's just very beautiful.
A little bit windy this morning. We've got a spot up ahead that the crosswinds are notoriously bad, so bad that they have warning signs and giant wind socks because they've blown semis off the highway as they cross through this draw.
Since you have a camera person, are you going to try to film any of your competition?
Well, my camera person, being the outstanding Mrs. Halfmile, who's running the questions, she'll be shooting the same relays I'm shooting, so I don't think we'll be able to do that. I would like to, but I don't think we'll be able to do that this trip. I might be able to get some video of second relay shooting if somebody's willing to put their face out there, so to speak.
Well, I can always do filming of your team matches.
She could film a team match, and she could, because there's a match I will be shooting that she's not going to shoot. And that's the Texas State Rifle Association revolver distinguished match. It's the 50-yard, 60-round National Police course that's typically shot with a 6-inch revolver, but for the Texas distinguished match, you have to shoot it with the 4-inch revolver. So I'll be shooting the big gun match with a duty gun. I also have to shoot the auto distinguished with a stock auto. So it's a very challenging match. She might be able to film that one. I'll just have to teach her how to run a GoPro. Fortunately, they're pretty much point and shoot. So, yep, okay. This is, in fact, the Continental Divide coming up. So up ahead in the distance, there's a bridge. I don't know if y'all can see it in the video yet. Just past that bridge is the Southern Continental Divide. And we'll be, like I said, 7,287 feet. Pretty good altitude. Actually, a little bit higher than the altitude we'll be at the range at Winnington Center, because we'll only be at 7,000 feet.
So, Jeff B64 is asking if I have a chance of winning trophies or medals. Just let him know that my skill set's a little less than yours, but I have it nationals.
She does have the ability to win trophies and awards and medals. She shoots in a different classification. For nationals, she took a couple of awards. I forget which
one. Off-duty.
Yes, off-duty revolver.
For the marksman at that time.
For her classification, she was the overall marksman, and then just a month ago, for the police and fire games, which I didn't shoot, but I was there to talk to people who were shooting the match that aren't members of our association, trying to pull more shooters into the association. She smoked it with like 4 golds and a silver, I think.
Yes.
So she did really, really good.
With the revolver.
And that was, with the revolver.
Love the revolver.
I think she took the silver with an auto.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, autos actually are harder to shoot than revolvers. Revolvers are so very forgiving. Okay. We just crossed under the bridge, and there's the sign coming up. Don't know if I can do it. And up 72.75, not 87. I was close. I've only driven past that sign 30 years. Okay. Let me try to get the camera angle back right. I seem to be cutting my head off. So yeah, she shoots good. She shoots in when she shoots in her classification, she cleans up. And when I suggested that she start coming out to compete, that was because her sergeant told her, "Well, you should have your husband work with you on your trigger control. It'll help your qual scores." She came home and told me that. I'm like, no, that's his job. I got my own people I got to teach. They said, "Here, tell you what, come shoot a match with me. I have a gun you can use, and just give it a try, and if you like it, we'll get you a gun, and I guarantee your qual scores will go up." And she's all, "Oh, but I can't compete against you." Yeah, you're not competing against me. You'll be competing against other people in the class that you get set into, and most of all, you'll only be competing against yourself. So if you have a bad day, you only got one person to blame, and that's you. You can't blame somebody else. And sure enough, she found out she liked it. She liked the challenge. And her qual scores went up. Amazing. Get lots of practice, and next thing you know, you can shoot good. And that's where, so for years and years and years, I've been, and I still tell myself this in matches: front sight, front sight, front sight, smooth on the trigger. That's the two things you need to shoot a handgun good. Focus is on the front sight. The target can be blurry. With my shooting glasses, I have my dominant eye. The focal point is set to my front sight. My off eye is set for distance. It's like putting on drinking glasses when you first put them on in the morning. You got to have a good optometrist, one who doesn't have any qualms about you bringing in a gun, so he can dial his machinery so that you see your front sight clearly with your dominant eye. And what's really neat is the brain. In a matter of minutes, the brain knows what to do. If I'm looking in close, my brain just uses my right eye. If I'm looking at the target, my brain uses the left eye. And it's a really neat phenomenon, and it allows me to, when I'm shooting, I don't have to strain my eye to pull the front sight into focus, because the front sight's already focused due to my shooting glasses. And that's where it gets really trippy now that I've started shooting an optic match, because I shoot an optic match in my regular seeing glasses. Because now it's a 180 degrees difference. Instead of focusing on the sight and letting the target be a blur, you focus on the target and let the dot hover. And what happens is, when your brain says, hey, you need to focus on that dot, the dot starts jumping all around. And then you go, oh crap, I gotta focus on the target. And the dot settles right down. So you gotta deal with the brain, lizard brain, wanting to do things the way it's always done. So I'll be nice steady dot, nice steady dot. Next thing you know, my dot's doing this. I yell at myself to focus on the target, and the dot settles right down. So it's kind of trippy, and I will be doing a video on the new PFI dot. Because what we did, President of Applied Power Industries developed a new red dot that he'll be selling. I showcased his prior red dot last year when I mounted on my Gen 1 clock. And I've shot a few matches with it. Well, his new red dot has a same footprint as the Trijicon RMR. So whatever Trijicon RMR mount you'd be using for your gun will work for this PFI mount, or PFI optic. What he did was he mounted his optic on his Springfield XD9. What I did was I took his barrel, slide, and optic, mounted them on my XD9 frame, and then I shot my first 150 round open optic match, and it was for our first NRA approved open optic match. So everybody's unclassified, everybody's battling to get classified. My first run with it, I was the overall high score, winning by X's. So it wasn't as high of a score as what I'm accustomed to, but it's also with a plastic gun and somebody else's gear on my gun. I now have a XD9 tactical slide and barrel with a new PFI RMR footprint optic that I'm going to do a video on when we get to Raton. I've not zeroed it or anything, so I've just got it set up. So we'll do a video where we talk about it, probably shoot a few rounds and try to zero it.
What's the farthest you've shot you taking during hunting, and then how many rounds total do you all shoot a match?
Okay, farthest I've shot hunting, I want to say was about 175 yards. And then total match, well, I know the YouTube doesn't like talking about guns and when you got guns and ammo in the car, but hey, going to the match, I got guns and ammo. Right now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have about 7,000 rounds for me and 7,000 rounds for this half mile, and we're going to probably shoot most of those. And that'll be, you know, five days of competition. So we're putting lots of rounds downrange. Typical match weekend. If I just shoot revolver matches, I'll shoot 300 rounds, and these are local matches. Or if I just shoot the auto matches, I'll shoot 300 rounds. Sometimes I man up and I shoot all 4 matches, so I'll shoot, you know, 1,200 rounds.
Wow.
Or I mean 600 rounds.
Wow, and gee whiz, extreme. And then Henry says, yeehaw.
Morning, Henry. So yeah, we'll definitely be burning through some ammo. Got a bunch of 9mm. Got a bunch of 38 special wad cutter. Half as much 38 special ball. And then I've got a big red box, 3/4 full with 6.5 PRC ammo for making videos in the afternoon.
About the same range as us here. I've never shot 2,000 yards since I hunted in the Mississippi Delta, but I'm hoping to get a gun for shooting further. That makes this, wow, 14,000 rounds by firearm.
See now, that's the 6 PRC. I got that because I want to shoot a mile, and finding available space to shoot a mile gets a little bit difficult. There's supposedly a range or a place out in the desert that I could use. It's an abandoned runway, and it parallels the interstate. And I know people that go out there and shoot, but it just seems like if I went and did it, I'd get in trouble. And then the ranch that we went to, when I did the first time stretching the legs on the 6.5 PRC video, there's a place that we can almost get a mile, and we want to go back out there again, and my camera keeps drifting down. Sorry about that. Try tightening. Nope, it's already tight. We want to get back out there again and shoot the long range stuff in the morning before the wind comes up, because if y'all watch that video, that wind was brutal. And of course I was only shooting on a 1/3 IPSC target at 1,100 yards, so my target was really only like this big, and I was missing it by like that much all the way around.
Mrs. Halfmilesniper might have read that a little wrong. It was 200 yards, but if I I could. I wouldn't shoot 2,000 yards. LOL. You're right. And that's part of my shooting problem. My eyesight's not that best.
But you only need to see like 39 inches.
I know. That was South Dakota we just passed, I think.
So yeah, it's a long drive, but you know what? I can't help but share the view with y'all. It's really, try to do this without dropping the phone down in. I really like to share the view with y'all. I know those of y'all east of the Mississippi don't really get to see wide open spaces. And once we get just east of Grants, any of y'all that read Louis L'Amour books will be passing through the Malapai, and a number of his Louis L'Amour's books deal with stories that are happening in the Malapai, the true Badlands, the lava flows, and there's, I think up on that mountain just off to the left of the screen, I think there's ice caves in there. That may be the mountain by Grants. I gotta see the next milepost.
You know, another good writer he's passed was that
Hillerman?
Hillerman. It was all within New Mexico. His daughter is now continuing on the saga.
Good. Okay, so we are 19 miles from Grants.
Look at the train. Choo choo.
Yep, train full of cars. Well, let me rephrase that. Train full of car haulers. I do not know if the car haulers have cars in them. Any comments, Dylan? Try to bring this back.
And Hunter says, yeah, I don't see that beautiful flat land here in the southern part of Alabama and Mississippi.
I see. One of the nice things, I had an advantage when I went to the Border Patrol Academy in Brunswick, Georgia. The climate and the, how do I want to put it, the flora and the fauna from East Texas to the southern east coast there of southeast coast of Georgia is basically the same. Got the same big tall pine trees, different species of pine tree, but there's still big tall pine trees. So you still have the big tall pine tree pollen in the spring, and the pollen's so big it plugs up your sinuses. It's very visible pollen, and the weather was just like being where I grew up, humid, warm, except in the wintertime. Cold and humid. The guys who came from out west, like near sweated to death. The guys who came from up north, even in the cold, it was too hot for them. So I know that countryside. Got somebody coming up behind us.
So Mike Webb is asking, do you have ammo sponsors or do you foot the bill?
I do not have ammo sponsors, so to speak. Wifey still shoots for the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. So the department does give her ammo. In my case, I still get a little bit of ammo from the Border Patrol when I'm shooting where the national team's shooting, because I still shoot with the national team even though I'm retired. But the majority of my ammo is coming out of my stocks, basically stuff I made. So for the most part, I shoot a lot of homemade ammo.
That's why when we go to Mississippi,
Yep.
we replenish the supplies.
So yeah, we pick up components wherever we can. Last year in Mississippi, we picked up a bunch of powder, And I don't think we got primers last year, but I'm still okay on primers. And then projectiles, I get them where I can, usually 0 bullets and precision delta bullets. Like I just got 2,000 watt cutters from Precision Delta. I take that back. I got 2009 millimeter from Precision Delta because I had a rebate card from buying tires, and that covered half the cost of 2,000 projectiles. Then I've got a stash of 2,000 Remington 148 grain wad cutters that I don't want to break into yet because these are the really good ones. And I want to save them for right now because we haven't been able to get any for like 5 years now.
Mark Thomas says reloads are the best. Vic says, has the primer shortage hit you hard?
I've not felt the primer shortage because I stacked them deep. Whoa, phone's fixing to jump off the mount again. The rubber for the mount, woo, kind of giving out. Yeah, phone's gonna jump. So I guess I have to hold it for a little bit, and I'm gonna have to find a new mount for the phone to try to do driving lives. So what we're gonna do here, I appreciate y'all hanging with me for 45 minutes of y'all's Sunday morning. I'm not gonna be able to show you the rest of the way into Albuquerque because, well, the rubber that holds my phone in place just gave up the ghost on the mount. I think that's actually why the phone popped out a while ago. But I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Thank you so much. We'll have a video 6.5 PRC video out tomorrow at my usual time, right after Hootie Hoo. So y'all stay safe. I should hopefully see you at Hootie's tonight if we get there in time. Otherwise, I'll see y'all tomorrow for sure. Thanks for hanging with me, guys. I really do appreciate it.
Safe travels, Halfmiler.
Alrighty, guys. Take care, and we'll catch y'all later. Stay safe. Keep shooting. Hey, also, stay strapped or get clapped. I heard that somewhere before. Later, y'all.